It is time for Babylon to stand on top of things in the Middle East after destroying the Assyrian Empire with the help of the Medes. I'm the Archivist. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Let's get it on without further ado. We are now in 607 BC. Between May and June, Nebuchadnezzar, son of King Nabopolassar of Babylon, is sent on a mission in nowadays northern Syria against the Egyptian troops of Pharaoh Necho II, who had tried to come to the rescue of Syria in the previous episode in vain. 2 years of operations will lead to the decisive confrontation, some combat erupting with Judeans of King Joachim and his soldiers and mercenaries in the process as well. And so it is that in August 605, before the city of Carchemish, the battle is fought. Nebuchadnezzar leads the Babylonian troops of his father, visible in the battle depicting here, and the Medes of King Cyaxares, allies, in the field against the soldiers of Necho II. Pharaoh's troops are beaten and repulsed, and then beaten a second time near Hama, south of Carchemish, on the Orontes River. Egyptians flee southward, Judeans are tamed in the process, Jaffa on the coast taken. But Nebuchadnezzar doesn't pursue Necho within the borders of Egypt, for his father Nabopolassar has passed away somewhere between August and September. While Cyaxares reforms his Mede army after the Assyrian and Babylonian models, Nebuchadnezzar goes back to Babylon to become king, second of his name. He is often marked as the true founder of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Until 652 BC and the end of his reign, he'll secure Babylon's grasp from Mounts Taurus northward to the frontiers of Egypt southward. Babylon itself, located right here if we zoom in, will boast of solid ramparts and magnificent decorations like this dragon of the Gate of Ishtar. Talking about the Ishtar Gate, here is another view of it as it was many decades ago. In 604, during the last 2 months of the year, Nebuchadnezzar II takes Gaza, right here, and Ashkelon on the Philistine coast. At Ashkelon or Ascalon, the inhabitants are deported, the city sacked. The Babylonian king then heads back to Babylon, and he, apparently, between here and 601, encourages the Chaldeans, Edomites, and Ammonites to attack Judean's frontiers. Most of these peoples are established over here. And in 601, in November and December again, Nebuchadnezzar II launches a campaign towards Egypt. But Pharaoh Necho II manages to hold him off and even goes to retake Gaza. This Babylonian setback would encourage seditious Canaanites, Phoenicians, and Judeans to revolt. Before this, 600 BC, in India, the different Mahajanapadas, local kingdoms warring among themselves, are less and less numerous, and Aryan India will soon only be divided between Vatsa, Avanti, Kosala, and Magadha, these last two rivals of the Ganges Valley. Also, several thousand kilometers west of this, Smyrna, nowadays Izmir, in Ionia, is sacked by Alyares II of Lydia after a hard siege. Alyares probably takes Colophon, nearby city, soon after too. This city was renowned for the quality of its cavalrymen, gladly mercenaries. And at last, for 600 BC, one Cleisthenes gets to power in Scythion, northwest of Corinth. We know that Cleisthenes sided with Delphi during the First Sacred War. More on that in a minute. And that he waged a successful war against Argos. Moving on to 5. 98 BC, the small island of Salamis, until then disputed between Athens and Megara, it is just off Athens, west of it, is definitely taken by the former thanks to Solon. Solon was a great commander and politician who divided the Athenians into four classes based upon their wealth, system that dictated how each citizen must equip himself in case of war. After centuries of kings in Athens, Solon is often referred to as the father of democracy in the Attic city. And also, since 601, there's a strong sense of rebellion in the Levant against the Babylonian rule. Nebuchadnezzar II intervenes, retakes Gaza from the Egyptians, and resecures a good chunk of the Philistine coastline. In December, he turns his gaze towards Judah, the southern parts of nowadays Israel, where King Joachim is assassinated, very likely by some agents of the Babylonian. Here you were contemplating a beautiful Babylonian lion statue. I know that I put Joachim's name in red because from French to English, different names are used. So sometimes you have three different rulers with the same name and just number 1, 2, and 3. And in the other language, the three are different spelled names. Very confusing, believe me. The following year, Nebuchadnezzar II directly attacks Judah, which refuses to pay tribute. With the help of some Ammonites, over here, of King Baalis, he besieges Jerusalem as soon as January. Judah's capital falls. Joachim II, short new king, son of the previous one, is overthrown on the 16th day of March, and hostages are taken to Babylon. Zedekias, or Zedekiah, the Judean, uncle of Joachim II, is made governor of Jerusalem. Moab seems to have been submitted by the Babylonians during the campaign too. While this time in China, King Zhuang of Shu, a southern state of this land, defeats the Jin right here at the Battle of Bi. Zhuang is recognized hegemon, the last of this spring and autumn period. But Duke Jing of the Jin sends a Shu turncoat to make the barbarians of the region of Wu attack the Shu. These, harassed on their eastern frontiers, have to let go of their pressure on the Jin, which stays in the game. 2 years later starts in Greece the first sacred war for the Temple of Delphi in focus in the center of the country. The city of Crissa is trying to extort a tribute from the pilgrims coming to consult the oracle of Delphi, and the Amphictyony, League of 12 cities of which Crissa is part, attacks it in retaliation. And here is of course a beautiful Greek cuirass. A few years later, Said Pharaoh Psamtik launches a campaign against his southern neighbor, the Nubian Aspelta, who still thinks himself the true king of Egypt. But his capital, Napata, is here devastated. The following year, helped by Athens, Thebes, and the Thessalians of central Greece, Delphi destroys Crissa, despite its thick wall and its position atop a steep cliff. Crissa's ally, Kira, is also submitted. Concerning the Thessalians, note that during the previous century, they created the Thessalian League and extended their influence over some mountain people of northern Greece that are now providing the League with useful combatants. Phocis has also been subdued and frictions have occurred with Boeotia. That same year starts a conflict between Alyares II of Lydia and Cyaxares of Media. The latter is helped by the Scythians, nomads come from the north, and he invades Urartu of Rusa III too, destroying, among others, his very capital Rushainli, Tropakale today in eastern Turkey, unless it was Tushpa at that moment. In any event, in 589 dies Psamtik II after leading several attacks against Kush, where the place of Kerma suffered. The Nubians of Pharaoh Aspelta even displaced their capital from Napata to Meroe, further south. They do well, as Apries, the true Egyptian pharaoh, will attack them too. Talking about him, Apries, pharaoh of the 26th Scythe dynasty, after the name of its capital Sais, also wants to disturb Babylon's affairs. Encouraged by Baalis of Ammon, allied with Zedekiah of Judah, himself may be associated with Ethobal III of Tyre and the king of Sidon. Together, they start their deeds, but are promptly counterattacked by Nebuchadnezzar II, who repulses them all and even starts a siege of Jerusalem, apparently as soon as January. This man is the Flash incarnated. Here's a cuneiform tablet recounting Nebuchadnezzar's reign, by the way. And of course, the following year, after almost 2 years of siege, the general-in-chief of Nebuchadnezzar, Neriglissar, takes Jerusalem, maybe on the 29th of September. The Babylonian king has Zedekiah mutilated after he's been taken in his flight in the plains of Jericho with his sons. Some say the capture may actually only have happened the following year. In any case, Jerusalem got burned, its walls destroyed. The population is deported again. The kingdom of Judah is no more. It seems that Hebron, south of Jerusalem, is taken by the Edomites coming from the south, who assisted the Babylonians in their campaign. The Edomites possibly abandoned Petra, visible here at the same time, the Nabateans, Arabs, occupying it right after. And this year also sees the end of Corinth's tyrant Periander, in power since 627, or close as makes no matter. Periander submitted Epidaurus east of Corinth and helped Lydia and Miletus reaching an agreement after their 12-year-long conflict, probably around 618. His reinforced fleet also allowed him to take control of Corcyra, the island of Corfu today. His successor, Psamtik, is the last tyrant of Corinth, and he'll be overthrown with the help of Sparta, located here, before 581, an oligarchy, the power of a few men, taking his place. 586 BC. At most here, the troops of Nebuchadnezzar II of Babylonia lay siege to Tyre, city on the coast of Levant of King Ethobal III. The following year marks the end of the first Secret War officially, after the oracle site of Delphi has been dedicated to Apollo. Also, on the island of Lesbos, here, very close to the western coast of Anatolia, tyrants and coups have been succeeding to one another for some time now, and here ends the reign of tyrant Pittacos, in power since 595 in the city of Mytilene, the main city of the island of Lesbos. We know that he had, at some point, to combat an Athenian expeditionary force that tried to take control of some part of the island. Pittacos managed to kill its leader, Phrynon, maybe through a ruse, maybe in an honorable duel, to avoid a bloody battle. Also, this year, on May 28th, a peace is settled between the Medes, coming from here, and the Lydians, as they were fighting a ferocious battle on the Helis River. Yeah, it's the Kizili today. What happened? Well, a total sun eclipse occurred mid-fight, and this was taken as an omen by both sides. The Hellas is chosen as new frontier between the two sides. Thanks to this partition, Astyages, successor of Cyaxares on the Median throne this year, gains some lands of eastern Phrygia. And at last, before moving on directly to 582 BC, Tushpa in Urartu on the eastern shore of the Lake of Van is taken by the Medes allied with Scythians. The fortress of Teshebani is also destroyed, all this under Urartu's last king, Rusa IV. A tribe of Urartu, the Hycans of Thracian or Illyrian origins, flees to the mountains. There we found Armenia, name given to the region by the Persians after their taking of control of this region around 550, making it one of their satrapies. And to finish off, new anti-Babylonian revolt in Levant. Moabites, Ammonites, east of the Dead Sea are included, and some Judeans, of course. Nebuchadnezzar II's troops are back at it for a possible 5-year-long campaign before order is restored. Maybe then the Ammonites of King Milcomer helping the Babylonians against the Hebrews take Heshbon and Jazer. Maybe. That's all, folks, for today. Thank you for riding along with me. See you next week for the advent of a new huge empire. Bye bye.